understand. I am a book coach, and I am very excited to meet a business coach who specifically serves book coaches. I've talked to a lot of other business coaches to seek business advice for
Mm-mm.
coaching, but I just don't feel like it really aligns with how book coaching works.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
been frustrating for me. I work with creative nonfiction,
Mm.
memoir, self-help, how-to, spirituality, health and wellness. And I have aimed my marketing toward female coaches who work in that space, who want to
Mm.
write books to grow their income and impact, but are unsure how to begin writing a book. So
Mm.
that's where I help them, is to help them plan a book, get it set up and organized, begin to write it, give them editor feedback on their writing so that they understand how to proceed with the rest of their chapters. Basically, I use the framework of a book proposal
Okay.
because I
Yeah. Yeah.
think all of that helps to really, even no matter how they want to publish, I think even for a self-published writer, that gives such
Exactly.
a solid foundation and scaffold, and they can time themselves how long it takes them to do a chapter to then know how long it'll take them to finish the book. They can back engineer that
Mm.
timing. And when they write like the pieces like the overview and the about the author section, they can then take that out and use it for marketing material so they can build an author platform while they're writing and generate a readership who's ready to buy their book when it's available. So
Oh wow, you seem to have really thought about the entire method. Because I totally agree with you. Like for me, that's also a thing, you have to have a plan to do something. So
right.
yeah, that's a great one. What made you tune in today to this session? Do you have like specific questions or?
I am struggling to figure out how to reliably source clients. I
Mm.
have been largely editing,
Yeah.
and developmental editing was my preferred form of editing. And then I learned about book coaching, which is just such a natural outgrowth of that, to be able to give the writer all of that same feedback, but before they begin writing the book rather than after they've completed a manuscript. And I haven't really been landing any book coaching clients. And so I don't know if I'm not in the right spaces or I don't have the right messaging. And I just noticed that you have a free class about that. So I just signed up for that. So I'll go through
Oh
that.
yeah. You know what? I actually launched it 2 days ago. So
Oh, wow. No wonder I never saw it before.
yeah,
Oh,
no, no, no.
congratulations.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's been a stressful week for me last week. I was like Saturday I have to get out. So.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. Deadlines.
Yeah, no, no, exactly. Because you know, it's like you said about the plan. You have to have a plan. Otherwise, you book, you start in 2000, and in 2030, you're still writing the book because you didn't put yourself really like a time limit, or you go to that kind. But you know that probably better than I do, as you're the one who takes care of the writers.
I do, yes. And I've also written a book. And so I learned a little
Oh.
about that process firsthand. And I was under contract, so I had to write it within a year. So I had to figure out,
Mm.
what is my plan, what is my schedule, what is my regular production rate. And I turned it in 1 year to the date. I
Yay,
used all
congratulations.
that
So
time.
you have it published? Yes,
I
published and all.
do.
Yeah.
I do. It's listed for pre-order right now on Amazon
Okay.
and Barnes and Noble, and it will drop next year in June.
Well, if you send me the link, so for those, can you just talk me a little bit more about your book? Because if you send me the
Sure.
link, I'll put it down this video, and then if people are interested to have a look at your book, they can go and
Cool.
see.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's pretty niche. I have a copy of it here that I've gotten my author copies. It's about my spiritual practice, which is called Flametending and is centered around the Irish goddess Brighid.
Oh, okay. So flame tending, that's the
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I've never heard about it, so I will have a look at it
A
as
lot
well.
of people aren't familiar with it. Yeah, I do know who the audience is and where they hang out because
Mm.
I've been practicing this for about 20 years and I know the whole online community and I've been actively involved. And it's kind of like an intermittent devotional practice, but I had
Mm.
developed it into a daily meditational practice for
Okay.
spiritual transformation,
Yeah, yeah.
and got a book deal and was able to share that and put it out in the world. So
Wow, congratulations. So, for those who
yeah.
are watching and are interested in the book, you will find the link beneath it. So it's in pre-order now, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So go look to the book. It seems quite interesting. What I will have a look at it as well. That said, let's get on. So good morning, everyone. My name is Anne, and I help book writing coaches get more client. This is a monthly Q&A session during which you can ask me any question around your business. Erin, do you have a question maybe to start off?
What's the best way to get clients? That's what I'm looking for. I've been primarily working in the Facebook space and, try to go where your client is. So to go into Facebook groups. And the conundrum I'm finding is that when I go into writers groups, they tend to largely be fiction writers.
Mm.
So then I thought, well, let me go over into coaching groups because I'm looking for them.
Yeah,
but not all coaches want to write a book. So a lot of them will ignore my posts and don't show any interest.
Yeah.
So there's that. I did create my own Facebook group to sort of, create a pool of interested parties. And I've noticed that when I send friend requests to the coaches who align with the kind of writing that I support, they accept my friend requests. And then when I invite them to my group, they do come to my group. But from there, I'm not entirely certain how to best work with them, to share my offer, to get them interested, to get them to buy. And also, I'm not entirely sure if they're there because they want to do that or because they want to network with other coaches or, they're looking for clients themselves, maybe. So I haven't necessarily had, I've generated more participation lately, but it still hasn't been high. But also, I don't necessarily need participation. I need purchasing. So
yeah. Well, participation can be the first step to for someone to buy. So on this Facebook, do you publish regularly like information about what you do and how you do it? Do you see that there's lots of participation in your like interaction on your email on the post that you do on your Facebook group?
There doesn't seem to be a lot when I put up posts that share writing tips or guidelines. I do weekly posts like Monday writing intentions and a Friday writing check-in. And so those have gotten a little more attention for whoever's writing, whatever they're writing, they'll talk about that. I do a Wednesday wins. And so sometimes people will post there, whatever their wins are, we can celebrate with them, whether it's writing or otherwise. And I do a Friday self-promo thread. So they can share their books, their businesses, their offers, and put their links in there. And that one is usually fairly popular.
Yeah.
And then I'll also, over the week, pepper in, some tips or some polls or, just sort of maybe ask them some deeper questions like, what's the key message you want your writer to take away from your book?
Okay.
Things to help them think about the important parts of what they're putting out in the world with their books.
Okay, yeah. I would say for me, Facebook, it is a big thing where that everyone is. And I feel like, I get lots of those. I got a lot because I'm off Facebook now, but I got lots of those comments. And like you said, I would click on it and go to a group, but not necessarily engage because we are having a lot of overwhelm. So it's a great idea that you have put up that Facebook group. But I'm wondering, is it really your target audience that is in that group, or maybe just a tiny bit of your target audience that is in that group? Because that makes a lot of difference as well. Another thing is to maybe see, you already talked a little bit about that, but what are the posts that really get the most interaction? Like if you see people that post that comment on your post, do you get in contact with them? So for example, if you say a writer tip, like then you say, okay, you have to have a plan, and you have someone who says, oh, that's a great idea, I've never thought. Do you start to engage that conversation with the person, for example?
On the group I did, yes. In the
Yes.
thread, absolutely.
And does that bring in like people that come in a little bit, and you can get them out of Facebook and have more conversations about what is going on?
It doesn't go out of Facebook, no.
Yeah, because it's always difficult, like, and a business is built up with a business of a size cycle, right? So you get your people interested, but it's very different to get them from that stage of they're interested to getting to the buying part. So I'm thinking maybe in Facebook, you're putting out a lot of information, but then it's not clear for people what is your next stage. So for example, you came on my website, or you've seen my YouTubes, or you see something on LinkedIn. And then when you come on my profile, it's very clear where I want you to go next. Like the next one is, sign up for my newsletter. And when you go on my newsletter, come to the business clinic. You see, it's so maybe that can be an issue, that we don't know exactly what is the next step you want to take. So for you, obviously it's clear. You say, well, and my thing is like, you see my Facebook post, you like it, you click to have a chat with me. But for some people, that can be too much of a big step. So I don't know, what is your next step? So for example, I'm the coach, you send me a text, I come in your Facebook group. What do you want me to do next?
Well, when someone comes in, I welcome them and I invite them to share something about themselves
That's a
and
great
what
thing. Yeah.
business they're in and what kind of book they are writing or would like to write,
Mm.
and maybe what their biggest obstacle is right now in their writing process or where they are in their writing journey.
Okay. And then, so you have that reply, and then what do you want them to do next?
I'm not sure. I'm lacking in that, the plan. It's like the strategy. I feel like I've had little pieces of it, but I'm not seeing a full, complete strategy. And
Mm.
I think I need that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you see, if you have a sales cycle, then step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, it's very
Mm.
easy. Like, you have to keep in mind that people are getting overwhelmed with all that information, and they might see
Yeah,
a post of you and say, oh my God, this is really what I needed to hear, and this is really helpful. But then they go on the post or on the group, and I think they probably don't see where they have to go next. You see what I mean? So
I
that's
do.
maybe where is the missing link in your sales cycle, that you have
Okay.
that Facebook group, which is great because you have your target audience getting in. So I'm sure that there are people that will be interested, but they don't know where they have to go next. So maybe, you can, and there's a lots of things you can do. You can set up a free workshop saying, come see me, and then afterwards, if you're interested, you can sign up for a call, or you can have a small product, small entry product that's like $20 or something like that. And that gives them the next step of saying, okay, I have a more privileged relationship with you now, and I see a bit more what you can do specifically for me.
Yeah, part of it is that I do have a
Mm.
free offer, and I had set up in the entry questions for the
Mm.
Facebook group, an option to get my free writing guide
Mm.
to help plan and start writing your book. Just put your email in here, but I wasn't getting a whole lot of people coming in the front door. So I've grown the group by
Mm.
inviting people, which is basically backdooring them because then they
Mm.
don't go through the questions. So they don't get that offer, which then
Mm.
triggers an email sequence that gives them more information.
Okay.
And then it also gives them a low ticket offer, which is how to basically shape the book by using the template of a book proposal.
Okay, but that's a
And
that's a great like that's a great free offer. So and why did you take it off for your Facebook group?
I didn't take it off. It's
Yeah.
just that people aren't necessarily applying to join where they
Okay.
see those questions. I'm just inviting them in by the back
Mm.
door. So I have also in the welcome message
Mm.
put in, you can pick up my free writing guide here,
Mm.
but not many seem to be clicking over to it.
And have you thought of making it a required option? Like if you get in the Facebook group, because I do feel like people come in your Facebook group, they get a lot of from your help. So even though you're not asking them to pay for that help, you can
Mhm.
ask them a kind of payment, which is the email address, because we do know
Well,
today. Yeah,
I don't
sorry.
know how to do that once they're already in, for
Well,
one.
I think, yeah, for once they're already in, they're in, they're in. Don't
Right,
don't
because I've
don't bother.
invited them. So
Yeah,
when I
exactly.
invite them, it bypasses all of the entry questions.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it is still one of the entry questions, but I've also
Yeah.
noticed that the few who have come in that front door, they leave that blank. They don't even fill it in. And my
Mm.
understanding is in Facebook rules is that I can't require them to
Ah,
give up
okay.
their email address.
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
recently heard that a little bit ago. So, I mean, I have it there, but not many are coming in that way. And then lately, they're not showing interest in wanting it either. So,
Okay. Yeah, I because
About
I
that.
remember when I was on Facebook, like there were people who would invite me and I had the obligation to give my email. So maybe that is something to check out if there's something, because this is a free offer. Like people come in your Facebook group and you give them free information. So it's a free offer.
Right.
The only thing is like, how can we get that free offer linked to something? And so for example, if you have the email address, then they are in your email
Right.
sequence and they have immediately an idea of what you're offering. But also for you, it means that you have more interested people, because there will be people that will say, no, if I have to give you my email address, I'm not doing it. And that's
Right.
not the kind of clients you want, because if initially they don't want this, then will probably at the end of the road, they will not buy anything from you in any
That
case.
makes sense. Right. And
So
I have joined
mm,
groups where I've seen
yeah,
questions that have said it's required to put your email address here.
yeah.
So I know what you're talking about. I have seen that. But
Yeah.
also, if I'm just inviting people, then they're bypassing those questions anyway. So they're not
Ah,
even
okay. So
presented
because
with
then
them.
they have a direct link to.
Right. They're just right in the group and then they can accept or
Ah,
decline
okay,
the
okay.
invitation. So they
Yeah,
don't even see those questions. So,
yeah.
like in the welcome message, I'll say, hey, here's my free writing guide you can sign up for, but not many are signing up for it.
Ah, okay. So you see what's happening here, that you actually interest people, but you once they're in the group, there's no reason for them to go onto your email sequence. So I
That's what
would
it's
really, I mean, I'm not an expert of Facebook, so I'm being very
okay.
honest on that. But I would definitely have a look at that. Because it would be a different situation if you tell me on my profile, I published this post. Then it's open to everyone. And of course, you can't ask people, to give their email. But once you get them in an email group, in Facebook group, where you give them information that's behind a wall, then you are allowed to ask something, and you should ask something, because then it's like, but you should. I'm sorry, I'm very like, like, oh, you have to go for the, but you see what I mean? So I really would definitely have a look at that, because then it means that you get people in your email sequence, they see what you're offering
Right.
them, and then you will have people coming out of that email sequence saying, actually, Erin, I want more. I want to know more about you. And then you get to your next steps, because we're all the same. If you tell me, oh, come into my group and I give you free information, yes, I will come into your group, but I might not be interested
Right.
really in what you see what I mean.
So it sounds
So
like I need a better strategy for
yes.
getting the ideal client interested enough in the group that they pursue joining on their own and go through those application questions.
Yeah, but I'm really wondering if there's no. I mean, I went off Facebook in the beginning of the year, so maybe it really completely changed, because I had people also inviting me to their groups. And
Right.
then they would just put the link, and I had to go to the questions. Like, it was not a
I've
direct
noticed it
entry.
go both ways, and
Yeah,
I don't really understand why. I've noticed that
yeah.
some groups I'm invited to, I'm just right in, and then
Mm,
other times I do end up with seeing the questions. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what makes the difference or how to control that.
Yeah, that must be
What do you think?
a like a Facebook technicality. Um, I have someone who's a Facebook marketing expert. I will ask her the question. And
Oh,
I'll
thank you.
will come. Yeah, because now it intrigues me as well, because it does
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense to set up groups if I can send you an email and just everyone can get in.
Hmm.
That doesn't seem. But I will ask her the question, and I will come back to you on that one, because now it intrigues me as well.
Okay. I appreciate it.
But yeah, so I think in any case, one thing to really work on you for is now get that side cycle, and that first step, what do you want people to do once they're in the group? If you can't figure out that technicality, but I'm sure it's just a technicality, maybe, to have um another kind of lead magnet, of another way of getting people to come into your universe, because that's what you want, and you want people to get into your universe, and
Right.
you prefer to have a Facebook group with 10 people who are really interested in the content you give, rather than one with hundreds and that no one is interested. But I think if you have a little think about that, you've set something in place to make it more logical, and always keep in mind that we are very overwhelmed by all information, so make it easy for people. Like, what is the next step? This is the first thing. You came into my Facebook group. What do I want you to do next?
Well, I guess I want them to be interested enough and
Yeah, yeah,
tell me more about book coaching, Erin. And then I would say, well, I'd like to know more about
mm,
you and your writing project. So then I have like a client Q&A application
yeah, yeah.
form that I would send them for them to fill out and give me more information. And then
Okay.
if it looks like we're going to be a good fit, then I can let them know how the program works and what to expect from it
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
see if they
exactly.
want to move forward with that. And if we decide to, then I'll draw up a contract and an invoice. And then once that's set, then we'll have a call so that
Mm,
we can initiate the process
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
program.
So that
So
last step is really clear. That's a good thing. It's just you have to work on your first steps, how to like progressively get them there. Do you,
so
yeah, do you have a
everything
new,
else makes sense except the beginning. Is that what you mean?
to say it diplomatically, yes. Yeah, I think if you really work on that beginning, um, because today I think you give a bit the impression of like, oh, come in and I'll give you that information for free. So, and also you don't have like the keep on touching points. You see what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think if you really work on that beginning and have a clear idea and know where you want them to go, like step 1, step 2, step 3, your step 3 is your sales, then it should go more easier because you're doing something great, which is direct outreach. There's a lots of people who don't dare to do that. So you really are already ahead of many people by doing that direct outreach. So that's a great one.
What is the direct outreach?
Is you sending emails saying, hey, I saw your profile. I think we might be interested. If you want to, write a book, join my Facebook group.
Well, it's not quite that. It's just when you go into a group, you can
Mm.
click on invite friends and you just get a list of friends. And then I just click the invite button. And then they just get
Okay,
a
okay.
notification that says Erin has invited you to her group. So from there they can get
Okay, okay,
in.
okay. I
So
thought you were sending like
it's
direct
very
emails. Yeah,
basic.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
personal or directed. It's just very basic.
But it's already a good thing if you have so many people coming into your Facebook group. So
Mhm.
uh,
I've got a little over 200 members right now.
that's great, Erin.
Thank you.
That's great. Yeah. So yeah, I think work probably on that beginning, and then it should go more smoothly over, I think. And also keep in mind, it takes time. They say you have to have 7 times contact with the person before you actually decide to buy something. So
Yeah, I've heard that figure too. So hopefully they're seeing that throughout the week if they're reading
mm,
messages in the group and participating because I definitely set up regular posts and I respond to people. And so,
no, but that you're doing, sometimes it's you have everything set up and it's not working. Um, and that's a really big and difficult step. What you're doing now is like telling yourself, okay, this is not working. What is not working? What should I be doing about it? And you see, I think again, that is just a really small thing to adapt in the beginning of your sales cycle. Make it more clear, and then suddenly you will see it like it will explode. It's just getting that all clear and in mind and figuring out what that solution is. That's the thing.
so what's a good solution for that?
Oh, that's a good question, Erin. I don't know your business. Huh?
Fair enough.
No, but I think no, but I think honestly, like, and what you told, because we've obviously only talked about 10 minutes. I think it's figuring out that thing with the email newsletter and get people on your email sequence so that they have a
Yeah.
concrete idea of what you can do exactly for them. Because the Facebook posts, I guess they are quite general, like, have a plan. But if I, for example, have a plan, what do you mean with a plan? How detailed has it been doing? And with the email sequence, it sounds to me that it's quite detailed. Like, this is
Yeah.
your plan, this is how you set it up. So that makes it more concrete for me, who, for example, is looking for a plan. So it's
Do
yeah,
you
it's
think that using social media this way is the best way to go, or would it be better to just focus on email marketing and then figure out how to maximize that instead?
well, I'm personally am a big fan of email marketing, because I think Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias, they are oversaturated. That's one of the reasons I went off it, because there's just so much information out there, and it's continuously, and it's difficult to focus on one thing or another. There's this whole question with the algorithms as well. You never know what is working, what is not working. So I feel that, yeah, for me, it's like you can, of course, use Facebook. It can be a very powerful tool. But you have to really put your time in it, and know how it works exactly. Email marketing, it has it is the number one thing. You never hear someone saying, oh, I went off Gmail. People go from Facebook, or they go from Instagram, or they go from LinkedIn, but they never tell you, I went off Gmail. I've not been checking my emails. So with email, you have more chances to quickly build up that personal relationship, which I think you're not having with Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. You can get it, but it will take more time. And
So what's the best way to get in front of people by email marketing? How do I get
email, well, already is to have people sign up for your emails. So through the free email lead magnet, and then you can put your email sign up everywhere. Like, for example, I have it on my emails, I have it on my LinkedIn, like I have everything I do. You can see on my YouTube channel, for example, you have the video, people can see the video, and then I'm telling the next step is go on my email. So you always getting all the marketing, like all my marketing I do, it always gets back to that email list, because I know for me, email marketing is my number one priority. And that I know that is how I get people really interested in my services. So but that's of course my opinion, and that's also what I really believe in as a coach. And another thing is also networking. I do a lot of networking, so setting collaborations up with other business coaches, go on podcasts, for example, that kind of thing, reaching out to clients. Like, that's how I really built up this year my business. I just started in February, and cold outreach was the first thing, because your services are really new. The time, if I would, for example, have chosen to be on Facebook or Instagram, it would have taken 6 months before someone would have started to see my things come in. So it's always a mix on thinking at where you are, what you're doing at that point, also what you like, what you don't like. So it's a mix of lots of things. But for me, yes, email marketing is the number one thing. And how I do it is to get everything I do come back to that email list. Make it easy for people to say, come to my email list, and then we can chat on what is going on and what I can offer.
Okay, I'll make sure to put that link out in more places.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'm out online. Can you tell me more about the cold outreach you mentioned and what that looks like and how you do that?
Yes. So for me, of course, first of all, it's quite easy for me because I have my niche. So my niche is a book coach. So I will start, for example, looking on LinkedIn, or if I see on Reddit, for example, someone gives a comment and says I'm a book coach, I will go on that profile, see if that's someone that I could potentially work with, if it fits my list of ideal client. And then I will just simply reach out and say, hi, I looked at your website. I found it very interesting what you do, this or that. Because there's always something when I go on a website I'm getting excited about. Because cold outreach, it takes time. So when I send out an email, it's really because I'm convinced I could have a good interaction with that book coach. And so I talk about the email, about the website, the services, the publications that they're doing. And then I just simply say, I specifically work with book coaches like you. If you're interested and you have a question, come to the business clinic, or now it will be sign up for my new lead magnet. And that's it. Like, and sometimes people will respond, say yes, and some people will say no, but that's the liberty of everyone. But that's really how I basically built up my business here this first year.
Ah, okay. So reaching out to coaches on an individual basis.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe going through their website rather than social media per se.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because people, they love to talk about themselves. And also, again, I am taking the liberty to go in someone's email box. It might not be the right moment for that person, or that person might be very frustrated or just not like the fact that you reach out. So it has to be worthwhile my time. So for me, is it my ideal client? But also it has to be respectful of the other person. Having a cold email saying, hey, I'm Anne, I do this, please schedule a call. That is not going to work because I feel that's being disrespectful of the other one's person's time and as well of mine.
So what I see is that it makes sense because you are book coaches. So all book coaches are running a business and potentially interested in what you offer. And I work with coaches who want to write a book, but not all coaches do want to write a book. And I don't know from looking at someone's profile whether they want to write a book. So I don't know how it would work to know who to reach out to talk about writing a book. That might not be their interest at all.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
sometimes I had someone who actually, a book coach who reached out to me. And so I've never said that I wanted to write a book or anything like this on my business. And she said, well, I've seen that you put on very interesting YouTube videos. Have you ever thought of like transforming them in a blog post and then put them into a book? And I can help you with that, you see?
Ah,
And it is because some people still might think that it's unachievable. They don't know where to start or how to do it, or it can seem something incredible difficult to do. And then you come in and say, we can work on that. And have you ever thought about it? I can help you to set up that plan.
I guess I've thought of myself more as meeting them at the point where they have decided they want to write a book rather than further back to
Yeah.
convince them they should write a book or could write a book.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, okay, I see what. Well, in that case, maybe yeah, you see on their publications or if they're part of a writing group. But still, I don't think there's many coaches who will put out there, I want to write a book. Like,
Exactly. So that's
it's
why I
like,
can't tell.
yeah, exactly. No, and that's the thing with cold outreach. It's not a strategy I suggest on the long term. But in the beginning, it's a good way to start getting your clients. And also you have to think. For example, I reached out to someone who didn't become a client for me, but she helped me to go onto a podcast of hers, for example, and that's also doing the direct outreach. It's building a relationship. There are people with who you will never work, but they might help you to say, oh, you want to write a book? I heard about this one or I heard about this one. And, so direct outreach, I think you should not get into it of saying, okay, I'm sending out 10 emails. I'm going to have 10 clients. From those 10 emails, there might be one client coming out, but you might have 9 other possibilities you never have thought about it. And it actually made me think last year, in the whole beginning, I sent out an email to someone and similar, the person told me, please don't contact me, and then recently she sent to a friend of hers to mine. So, and this started off as not a very positive relationship, with the person saying, well, please don't contact me again, which is fine. Everyone has its liberty to say yes or no. So I never contacted her again, but then I got a friend, she referred me a friend. So you see, it's putting seeds out there.
Okay.
So,
all right. I'll keep that in mind then. I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Well, we still have like 5 minutes, so if you have like a very last question.
No.
I feel like Erin thinks it's going in his head. She's like, oh my God, I have to think about so many things now.
That's what it's like in here.
Yes, exactly.
I wasn't expecting to be the only one here to have to. I didn't know I was going to get so much personal attention. I mean,
well,
it's pretty nice. So, but
well,
I guess, do you have any recommendations about pricing?
Pricing, actually, I will send you a video about that. But to put it simple, I always start off what you need at the end of the month. So, make out your budget, what do you need at the end of the month, then link it with how much time you have to spend on your business. And from there on, you will, for example, you need $2,000 a month. You can only work with 4 people a month. So then you're going to charge it at $500 per person. And that's your minimum price. And then eventually you will have your ideal price, which can be, for example, well, I don't want to charge only $500. I want to charge $1,000, and that is going to be your target price. So, and that's
Okay.
so.
Well,
But
what I have set up right now that another business coach helped me put together is that my book coaching program of working through the elements of the book proposal to get that whole book set up and planned and begun and scaffolded is a 3-month program that I'm pricing at $5,000.
Yeah,
Is that
that's yeah.
unreasonable?
That there's not something like reasonable or not reasonable. You have to find your public. Because someone who's really has a fit with you, it doesn't matter if you're charging yourself 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000. That person will find a way to work with you.
Okay.
So don't feel yourself like in an imposter syndrome or anything like that. $5,000, if that's your price, then it's your price and that's it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So this was the session of this month. So the next one is 31st of January at 9 a.m. GMT +8. And if you want to join, you can just click the link below. And if you're lucky, you will be like Erin, the only one on the call, and have a private coaching session just for you.
Yes, it was quite a treat. Thank you, Anne.
Yeah, well, it was very, very nice to have you here as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you next time.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.